Alright, in this video I'll give you the answer to a question that was asked to me by one of my uh, students or what do you call it, members of the WhatsApp group. Okay, so he had asked me the question, could you give us or could you give me a few tips with regards to grooming, grooming and how a young man or a man should present himself for corporate success. Now, if you have tuned into my video or my channel looking at my face, this appearance, you'll be like, what the fuck? I mean, look at this guy. What? This guy is going to give us grooming tips or corporate success. Well, since you think like that, maybe you should not watch this video. Maybe you should switch off and go to a Harvard business channel. Okay, no, I'm serious. I'm not saying to justify my appearance. Maybe you should not check this video. You should go to a Harvard Business School YouTube channel or someone who's dressed up in a suit and tie, who can give you these tips. However, if you are curious, what a freak like me who doesn't look corporate-ish at all, what common sense can he give? Stick around and let me know if you feel anything I've shared is of value. Okay. Now, you need to understand that I was not born like this. I made myself look like this. And there was a phase in my life where I did work in the corporate world. I did have to survive in the corporate world. And in order to conduct my affairs, I had to be presentable. Now, the thing is, there was nobody to guide me. There was no Google, there was no YouTube, there was no mentoring. My parents were from South India. I studied in a South Indian Malbari school where, the sophisticated language pronunciation was ABBLE, ABL, have enough and more beard and coffee filter mustache, and you smell like as if you put your nose next to someone's armpit after stinking for months. That was the norm. I'm not trying to make fun of South Indians. Being an Indian myself, this was how we never gave importance to personal grooming, personal hygiene. There was none. Looking good or personal grooming was more like you have a shower, you put powder, wipe it, and that's it. And using deodorant was you spray, you call it spray. And what else? And they would not, the deodorant you would never put on your skin, you would put on your shirt, which was so comedic. Like if you see an Indian going to a supermarket where they have perfume samples, he will hold it, he'll look left and right, nobody are free. He'll spray everywhere as if he's spraying insecticide, to kill all the insects. So there was a massive gap between practical application and common sense, as you could say. Today you have channels, you have content where they give you basic fundamentals, but I'm just giving you the fundamentals of what I knew and what I learned. Okay. Now, there is this belief that grooming for men is limited to have a nice shower, which you must have a nice bath, use a nice soap, shampoo. After that, most of them tend to have hot water bath where you're steaming, and after that you dry yourself, and imagine you have hot water bath, then you're sweating, which doesn't make sense. So that is why after hot water you should have cold water, your pores close, then obviously dry yourself, and then people generally use perfume or powder or the fundamental basics. You're talking of shaving and using a razor blade. But now, is that enough? And some people even have this, because I share bits and pieces, people cherry pick the advice and say, yeah, you should eat pineapple and fruits, not curry, so you don't smell. Although there's an element of truth in it, you can't just take one bit here and one bit there and that becomes personal grooming or hygiene or whatever. Okay. Remember this, that personal grooming and hygiene is a continuous non-stop process. Just like brushing your teeth, you do it every single day. Washing your ass after you poop and piss, and even when you piss, there are a lot of guys who will just urinate and that's it. It's not only urinate, it's how you wash that area, it's how you dry that area. There are quite a number of things that people don't think about. Okay. Uh, so it's a continuous learning process, and it's a process that you need to be consistent. It's like if you brush your teeth today, doesn't mean it's going to remain clean forever. You'll have to do it once, twice, three times a day. Maybe use a mouthwash, maybe use a floss, maybe, and also go to a dentist for a checkup every once, every 3 months or 6 months, depending on your needs. Okay, so it is an investment and it is an obsession you need to have with yourself. Just as a model or someone who's a celebrity spends hours sometimes getting the hair done proper, makeup, everything else. Now, obviously, you're not a diva, but basic fundamentals should remain. So, I'll give you a few pointers. Number one is obviously shower, bath, powder, perfume, deo roll on, trimming the body hair. Don't make yourself look like a bloody gorilla. Um, Hair under the arms, hair in your pubic region, all that is common sense. Okay. The slight advanced bit is, you know, going to a barber, just paying a little bit of money just to get the, outline done properly, and, just a touch up. If you're getting a beard, or a Frenchie, just get a touch up once every 3 days or once every week, depending on how your appearance is. Um, but then the other bit is, what do you do after that? I mean, throughout the day, you will be sweating, you will have heat. I'll tell you what I used to do. When being in Dubai, the temperature was 45 degrees heat and above. I mean, you could just have a shower, look fresh, walk down the house with this suit and tie, and forget, even if you wore a shirt, you'd sweat in less than 2 3 minutes. It was like you walked into a furnace. Okay, so obviously you'd sweat. What I would do is, this is me. Obviously, hair. I hated body hair. As to trim it always off, shave the armpits, pubic region, whatever. I liked to be clean. And after I had the shower, body wash, everything, dry myself, I would always put a dab of first powder and perfume, so it would kind of like stick or absorb. And then after I put powder, I would put my, the banyan, I don't know if you call it banyan or white vest. It used to be till here. So the smell would be contained. I would put that light one. And then obviously the formal shirt at the top. Okay. So the smell would get contained. I never like to wear something like this because, the armpits would be exposed. I would never have sweat patches. That is for a fact. I would replace a shirt but never have a sweat patch. The one thing which people generally don't do, which I used to do, is I used to take a man bag. See, like for example, I always have this bag that I carry when I go shopping. There's a formal man bag I used to carry, and in that were all the toiletries, from a toothpaste, small one, toothbrush, hairbrush. I used to have hair those days. Anything and everything I might need, mouth freshener, mouthwash, um, I mean, wet wipes, you know, that towel. It's like a cloth with the alcohol in it. You can just open it and just use it. I would have sanitizers. That is even before COVID. I would have like the one you can close properly. I would have a small bottle of perfume. I would have a nice towel kept at the side. I would keep all this because in case I would need, I would never have to worry. And if I had to go for a meeting, this you'll find useful. Especially, I had a car, so I didn't have to worry. But if you are going in a bus or a train, you need to carry the man bag with you. And before you go for your meeting, wherever that is, arrive there maybe half an hour early, at least half an hour, 45 minutes early. And the first thing what I would always do is I would ask, where is the washroom? Where is the toilet? Now, if in case it's a place that does not have a proper facility, go to a nearby restaurant or sometimes a hotel. Sometimes I would actually stop at a five-star hotel, park the car, go up, or a shopping mall, go to the nice little washroom or area, and over there I would, in front of the mirror, obviously, you're sweating, all that. I would wipe it properly clean. I would also take a spare shirt. By the way, you have taken a hanger, a spare shirt, a spare suit, a spare tie, because in case something, you ate something or a coffee and a stain, you always have backup. So after I'd go into the washroom area, I would obviously clean off, freshen up, cold water, dab with the towel. If I needed to use a mouthwash, yes, toothbrush, brush, whatever. I know you'll be like, what? See, if you're going for a date and you want to look smart, if you're going for something that is important, you must look nice. Now, I'm not saying you must brush your teeth, but for me, I like looking fresh. I like smelling fresh. Obviously, you should not chew gum in front of them. So, you have these Listerine mouth strips. I used to always have them. Then after making myself look fresh, dry myself, and one thing, have you noticed some people when they shake hands, their hands are wet and soggy? So I would always make sure my hands were dry, and it gave like a firm shake hand. So a little bit of powder there, not too much. Just make sure it's dry and nice. Obviously, you should not have hairy hands, and manicure is important. And perfume, please don't put so much of perfume that you suffocate. Like Emiratis have this tendency to put so much perfume that you would suffocate. Don't put so much of perfume that a person would suffocate. A little dab at the side of the neck, okay? Slight smell should be there, slight. It should, if not, overwhelm the person, it should at least neutralize. A little bit on the wrist, so when you move your hand or have gestures, that smell is slightly there. Because remember, with body heat, the perfume kind of evaporates. Get a good brand. There are different levels to the intensity of the perfume. I can't for the life of me remember now, but there is concentrated one. There is the normal vaporizing one. So depends which one you're using. I used to always use the very expensive ones. The vapor ones like Davidoff and all that if I was just going on a date. And also experiment and see how does the smell interact with your skin, because everyone is different genetically. When it vaporizes, how does it smell? One person using, let's say, Paco Rabanne, and another one using is different. One person uses Givenchy and another person using Gucci. Different smell. So see which one suits you. Okay, don't have a very sporty smell when going for a formal meeting. Okay, and don't have so strong that the person will feel like, whew, it's like overwhelming. That's not required. And presentability is very important. Now, the most important thing that I want you to realize is, just as, have you seen youngsters who wear a suit for the first time? A young boy who wears a suit and it looks like he's wearing his father's jacket. It's so loose. So if you're not into personal grooming and it's not second nature to you, it'll stand out like a sore thumb. It'll stand out like you're wearing your father's suit. Just as a suit has to be stitched to fit your body, it has to grasp your body. That is why I used to get my suits stitched body fit from Raymond's. Okay, from the shirt to everything. It's slightly more expensive. I wouldn't buy ready-made. I would buy body fit because I wanted it to look smart and nice. Okay, and I was slightly hefty bodybuilder, thick back, so I needed custom-made suits. If you can't afford that, let's say, I'm not asking you to have a designer wear. If you can't have a custom made, at least have one that reasonably fits you. Don't have the one that is loose with big pockets and all that. And learn the art of putting a tie knot. Learn the art of, like, it should be fixated. Like the collar shouldn't be like open like this and dangling tie. It should fit properly. These are some very finer points which not many people know. So it should be second nature to you. And it should look like, wow, this guy, have you seen anyone in a five-star hotel, or you meet a salesman of Rolex or a salesman of, let's say, a Rolls Royce, or a CEO? It looks so natural to them. So it should be second nature to you. For that, you need practice. You need to practice walking in, like, for women who practice walking in heels, they don't wobble and all that. So same way, you should be comfortable wearing those shoes, formal shoes. You should be comfortable in your formal attire. It shouldn't look like you're wearing it for the first time. You should know when to unbutton your suit when you're sitting down. You should know how to put it on. There are quite a number of nuances that only someone who is used to a formal corporate world would know. So it's like, some females, they feel grooming is putting powder on the face and just dabbing and putting some makeup and lipstick. That is not personal grooming. That is why females, when I used to mentor them, I used to take them to a makeup teacher, a slightly expensive one, who teach the fundamentals of makeup for women. And this only someone who's into it would know this. Professional makeup or even decent makeup for women is very expensive. Very, very, very expensive. I used to use, because I had a gothic style, I used to use eyeliner. The eyeliner itself used to cost at around, 500 to 800 bucks. Can you believe that? Dirhams. 800, around $200, the branded ones. It was crazy. I was like, what the hell, man? Why does it cost so much? So I used to take the one that used to cost $30. Just imagine an eyeliner, $30. Like, just think about it. So I'm not asking you to go for such branded items. I used to go, by the way, I think I used to buy MAC, MAC, that is for ladies, but, eyeliner for, those were the days, gothic style, not formal. So you need to really invest in yourself in terms of what perfume to use, what body wash to use, what toiletries to use, which toothbrush to use, which toothpaste to use, what deodorant to use, what deo roll-on to use, what suits you well. Is it clean shave? Is it having a slight beard? Is it having a Frenchie? Long hair, short hair, military cut, bald. What colors suit you in terms of shirt? What color suits suit you? How should you behave? How should you walk? How should you sit? How do you shake hands? What tone of your voice do you use? What should be your opening statement? Should you talk more? Should you talk less? Should you increase your voice? Do you have pronunciation issues? Should you put a pencil in your mouth and improve the way your lips move? So all these nuances take time and they take practice. You need, obviously, the ideal situation is to have a mentor, but if you can't have a mentor, you need to at least have a video camera. Those days, even that was not there, and record yourself. I used to do it in front of the mirror and keep practicing until you achieve a level of perfection. Because remember, you'll never be perfect. You'll always improve. The only way you can get better is with time. And I used to literally, this you might find strange, I used to ask people, the ones I used to admire, I used to ask them, how do you sit? How do you stand? I didn't even know how to eat with a fork and knife. I had to ask. There were no books, there were no videos. Today you have all this. So overall, it's a process. And if you're living somewhere in India where there's humidity, where there is, dust and dirt, and even the air is so polluted that if you wear something white, it'll become like, as if dust and mud and all that just came on, just got blown on. You need to think of intelligent solutions. Like I told you, having a spare shirt, having a man bag with all their toiletries kept there. But eventually, as you take a level of, um, you know, intensity, focus, dedication, obsession, you will get there. You will get there. Uh, but you have to dedicate yourself a lifelong dedication and obsession until you achieve a certain degree of like uh, sophistication and ease, and it becomes second nature to you. So this is what I would suggest for you guys. Work on it one step at a time. And if you don't have the money for a mentor or you don't have anyone to guide you, ask someone who you look up to and ask them what are the immediate areas I need to change. And obviously, the immediate areas should be one that visually people can see. So never have sweat patches or sweaty, wet, and this and that. I would actually cancel a meeting if I was, sweaty or smelly. One is visually, eyes. Next one is smell. These are the two areas you must focus on. And please avoid eating before meeting someone, so you don't smell of garlic and onions and curry and all that stuff. I would never do that. Never, never, never. Okay? And remember, every meeting, be prepared. Present yourself as if this is, you're going for a CNN live meeting, that it's going to be recorded and broadcast all over the world. So if you go with that approach, every meeting, you'd leave an indelible mark. And over the period of time, you'd carry yourself in a proper manner. Remember, you have to be consistent with your brand and you have to constantly focus on being the best of what you can be while being consistent. And over time, I'm telling you, you will achieve that level of perfection. All right. Having said that, any questions, feel free, write it down below. I hope you got some bits of advice from a tattooed guy who looks like a freak, who's not in the corporate world. Let me know if you felt anything was worth it, or was it all just bullshit? Love to hear your thoughts. You guys take care. Good, bad, ugly. I would definitely read your comments.